Good morning, students. In the past videos, we come across with enterprise security architecture using Zachman framework. In this video, we are going to discuss about few case studies which leads to a cybersecurity hands-on. Let's see about an overview of this video. Today in this video, we're going to discuss about managing administrator and root accounts in different platforms as Windows, Linux and Unix and VMware, virtual machine software. Let's go in depth or in brief about the particular thing. The first one, managing administrator and root accounts. A network administrator is granted a privileged user account on many network systems and devices. What privilege or administrative accounts can exercise unlimitedly authority on a system and network. Some of the key best practices for managing these privileged accounts includes all users, including network administrator, should normally use unprivileged or non-administrative accounts. And administrative operations should be effectively separated from the other users' activities. In general, if you're going to think about a careful use of legislative websites to perform software updates and upgrades in acceptable. A few policies has to be discussed over there. These policies are essential for a network security for the following reasons. Let's see one by one. Logged in with a privileged account, a user receives an unexpected but authenticative looking an email and opens it attachment when installs a rootkit. What actually a rootkit? A rootkit is a malicious software that takes complete control on an account for a remote attacker. By compromising an privileged account, the entire system, all its accounts, computing power, and data are compromised. A network administrator can log in a root super user visits a drive-by malware websites. A rootkit is installed unknowingly, and now the attacker have administrative privileges on the network. And a network administrator has a web server window open for managing and Cisco routers or Oracle database and the company's websites. And XWS attacks involve which may run malicious scripts inside the administrator browser. The scripts may all the authority of the network administrator in all open windows or browser windows and tabs. If user had followed a proper security policies, only individuals or a non-privileged accounts rather than the entire system, network and remote devices or services would be compromised. Have an example of a managing administrator. A nightmare scenario of XSS attack include an administrator browser remotely for managing an electrical power grid where the power can be in the grid which have been distributed. Meanwhile, an air traffic control system where in the aerodrome how the aeroplanes are going to be get controlled, the traffic of the aeroplanes, the landing and takeoff is going to be get controlled over there. And life critical hospital systems to monitor the patient's health care remotely. We can access the patient's data as well. We can maintain and we can monitor those things. Manufacturing controls. In the manufacturing industries, we can control how the process is going on, in what way it's going to be, how the manufacturing process is going to be. So those things can be get controlled or can be get monitored remotely. Banking systems, how the process is going to be get enabled or it's going to be get actually implemented in this banking sectors. Military weapon systems to monitor the military defense weapon systems, the how the usage is going to be there, in what way the things are going to be happening in the military defense sector. uh, some common sense dictates that this system should be rigorously protected are completely separated from the internet to avoid the hacking or to avoid the information leakage through the internet. It is a common practice to never use the default administrative accounts and set them up as honeypots because it may create a new administrator accounts. And usually we have to create a new administrator accounts and need to have an audit and a default audit has to be get scheduled to overcome this problem of hacking or threats which is going to be get interact or to steal the information from this particular administrator role. Let's we discuss the managing administrator in the different operating system as Windows or Linux, Unix, and VMware, and how this managing administrator is going to work in the different platforms or in operating systems. So first, let us see about the Windows operating system. As we are aware about that, the Windows operating system, Windows accounts are assigned either an administrative or a normal user privilege. Sometimes we usually log out as a normal user, and login must be an administrative user to gain the administrative privileges. Then we can repeat the process in a reverse to return to a normal account. Usually we all come across when we are going to install any operating system in the software in the operating system. Usually this administrator privilege is going to be requested by the system to the user. On newer window system, switch user accounts are also there. So almost everyone come across the switch user accounts to switch users from one account to another account, maybe a guest or an admin or some other user accounts. So to gain this user accounts, a temporary administrative privileges can be get accessed, which can be provided with the help of an user account control, UAC, which was introduced in Windows Vista and Windows Server 2008. When attempt a privilege operation, that's UAC, challenges for an administrative account password. If logged into a system with a non-administrative account and attempt to do something on the system that requires an elevated level of permissions, by usually people will come to know about that when you're going to switch user from a guest to an admin without an permission or an password, we can't able to enter into the admin role. So the same thing is going to be get controlled by this user account control, UAC. By default, what happened, Windows command shells are non-privileged. So to create a privileged shell, it needs to choose a start from start to all programs, accessories, and then a right click command. Then we have to select a run as an administrator. So most of us, we are using this in the Windows operating system, and we have been experienced how this administrator control is going to be get managed in the root accounts to access the privilege and to utilize this different user accounts and that is it. So next we can move on to the next platform, Linux and Unix. In the Linux and Unix, the administrative account is an username root. The students who have been using a platform of a Linux operating system or a Unix, you may come across this administrative power is going to be a username root. For a non-root account, Linux users can switch to root with the super user command like su dash, I mean an hyphen called as a dash. So which challenges for the root password. The dash means also adopt the root's environment variable and home directory. The user sometimes we can use the exit command to de-escalate back to the user account. Usually use the super user command to log into the other accounts such as su-my account in the Linux or Unix platform. So who have been practiced in this Linux and Unix platform can come across this and we can come to know about, we can easily understand how the switch user is going to be happening in the Windows. Similar here in this Linux and Unix, the my account can be used in the same manner. Let's see about the VMware software. VMware platform ESXi have administrator account, whereas VMware players and VMware workstations are single user desktop applications without user authentications. Hence, VSXi is an spare operating system whose entire purpose is to administer virtual machines. Obviously, VMware are going to be an virtual machines, so the administrator power is also entirely, it's going to be a purpose of administrate from the virtual side. And it does not have an internet browsers or other user applications. As such, it make sense for all network administrators to use the privileged account on this operating system. So anybody can be an administrator in this particular VM software, VM platform. Okay, so hope that you people have understand about the managing administrator and the root accounts in the different operating systems as Windows, Linux and Unix, and a VMware virtual machine software. Hope that you people have understand that concepts. If you have any queries, kindly you can post the queries to me. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.